Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. Welcome to a Sunday morning cup of Ray from down here at the world famous. I almost didn't even get the I didn't get the first line off. Down at the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill down here on Central Avenue, just below 16th Street in the Edge District of St. Petersburg. And I'll tell you what, I'm driving down Central this morning. Sun's coming up over Tampa Bay. You know how you know when you got to the Edge District, you're driving down Central. I come from all the way out, well, Treasure Island, but all the way out there, Park Street, driving down, just a slow Sunday cruise down here. Putting my thoughts in my head. Yesterday's game, fantastic victory for the Rays over the Yankees over there at the Stein. But you know you're in the Edge District when you hit that spot. You start seeing all the sidewalk cafes and people drinking coffees and everyone's walking their dogs, having a great Sunday morning. Of course, it is Easter again. I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to go ahead and just start off by letting you know that today's show is brought to you by Frosty's Gutter Solutions. I put it on my page, and I'll tell you what. You mow your lawn, you clean your house, you do everything. Presentation is everything, right? Perspective and presentation. And why would you go and neglect the most important part of your house? First thing people see when they're looking up and at your house, all those gutters that run around. And here's what's the reason why those gutters are there. All that Florida rain we're getting ready to have coming into May, June, July, and August, all that rain goes right down through the gutters, out to the lawn, waters the flowers, away from the house, keeps the moisture, keeps it clean, and also that Frosty's Gutter Solutions, not only will they get your gutters clean, they can pressure wash the sidewalks, everything about that first impression people see when they walk upon your house, and most importantly, how you feel every day you come home to your house, or when you're leaving it, you look back and you see it looks good, it looks great. Call Frosty's. Call my guy, Austin. Today's show is brought to you by Austin and Frosty's Gutter Solutions. Give him a call. It's on my Facebook page. I'm going to see you on the other side. Let me jump in the back here and share. And if you're just catching this right now, first cup of coffee, third cup of coffee, maybe you're already in that Easter basket, please share, and I'll see you on the other side. And there you go. Welcome back on the other side. Again, this show is brought to you by Frosty's Gutter Solutions. You can find my guy Austin on Facebook. Here's the thing about my guy Austin, too. He's also a Teamster. I work with this cat at UPS. I've had a chance to watch this kid grow over the last couple of years. He was a man when he came to us, but he's actually grown into even a better man. He's a Teamster. He's got his own business. He does it right. What does being a Teamster mean, having your own business? Teamsters aren't affiliated with Frosty's Gutter Solutions. They are still affiliated with us here at UPS, but it means you're going to get a good day's work for a fair, decent pay. Contact Frosty's Gutter Solutions and get that house looking great for these upcoming summer months. Also, get those gutters clean so that rain gets out. Let me bring this guy right in here. It's Easter morning, Sunday Cup of Ray. I wanted to start in so many places. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Felt like the Rays have been hurting cats since they lost 2 of 3 to the Red Sox, and of course the Yankees come in here. They have a Rays drop one Thursday night, and then Rasmussen pitches a gem on Friday night. The Rays lose 1-0. Yesterday's game still had 2 games left in that 4-game set. It felt like the Yankees were really going to just own this series, which was one of our going into this series because it's the American League East or the American League Beast. It's the Yankee Stadium. Was their stadium. It's now our stadium, especially as of yesterday. Bring this guy into the show right now, Mr. Eric Hartnett. Eric, how are you, brother?
What's up? That's good, man. That game was insane last night.
What was your favorite thing about that game, Eric?
We scored a home run to win the game.
Ronda, right? Jonathan Ronda. And that's after he has the collision at home with Workvet earlier in the game.
Yep.
Earlier, right? He's bleeding. He's
Mm-hmm.
you can stay in the game. You're thinking long term because baseball is about staying healthy for that marathon, 162 games. But then Aranda has that walk off. Did you see all the Yankees fans standing in the outfield as Aranda's ball clears the right field porch, which is, one of the things about Yankee Stadium there in New York and one of the things they've said about down here. Give me something else you liked about yesterday's game, Eric.
Man, what a great comeback, man. We won by we get the extra innings because we scored 4 runs
In the bottom of the ninth, right?
Yeah.
And I mean that's after
I was listening to the Yankees player on YouTube, Yankees YouTuber, man.
Right?
They said we got lucky.
Oh, they said we got lucky.
Because all the screw ups they did, all those they had those we had I was listening to this Yankees fan. I always listen to the people. And they said
right?
they say what was it? They overthrew the ball. They overshot the ball. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, no.
Too many errors.
Well, yeah, and the thing was, I listened to that. I was listening to I watched the replays on YouTube. I didn't watch the game on FanDuel. My wife had taken the Roku away. She was watching it on another television while she was working in another room. We have like 63 of those Rokus, but I was just not going to hook it up. My thing is I'm going to go to Andy Freed and Neil Solondz and Chris Adams Wall and the fantastic job they do there on the WDAE with the pregame show. You got Ronnie Lane in first pitch, and it brings them up to first pitch. I love listening, and that's what I was doing yesterday, Eric. I was out in the pool. I was skimming the pool. I'm listening to the game, and it looks so helpless there in the 4th or 5th inning. The Yankees get that lead, and I'm like, man. And then all of a sudden we score that 1 run, and all of a sudden you start to the momentum's coming, and that's when I was like, wait a minute. I posted on Facebook. I'm like, we were still down 3 at that point. I'm like, what if the Rays came back and won this one? Didn't know it was going to go to the bottom of the 9th, extra innings, dramatic fashion in many fronts. But then also see what's going to happen today. What's going on a bump today there over Legends Field, or the Stein, I should say.
Yeah, the Yankees had a chance to win in the 10th inning too. They had 2 people on base, but they didn't score.
Dude, what about Uceta? They get, because the 10th inning, you get the guy on second, right? Yeah. Uceta ends up having first and third, no outs. And all of a sudden, this guy, he becomes Tommy Maddox. He starts painting the corners. He starts throwing a rising fastball. He starts striking those Yankees out. I just love the fact that this team didn't give up. What was funny? The strikeouts or getting the first and third and then not getting a run?
Yeah, that was funny. Both were funny.
Tim Haynes is in here this morning. Says, "Good morning, Ray. Happy Easter, Tim, brother. I appreciate you. I told Tim's going to spend some time with some family today on Easter Sunday, which is hopefully how everybody out there is finding a way to spend their Sunday."
Soon.
What's that?
Alex should be coming soon, I think.
Alex should stop in here. I told him to get in here. Mike Stover says Heat play today, so Heat in the playoffs. And, I was watching. Oh, in fact, as I'm talking to you right now in front of me on this big 64-inch television, one of the hundreds that Coach has here is the replays again from last night. And I'll tell you what, when and that they're showing that right now where Aaron Judge gets the hit there in the 9th, they go up 8-4. And at that point, it's looking like there's not a chance, right? Then you had the overthrow at first place on Caballero. And by the way, now I'm just going to give it to you while I'm watching it, Caballero. And then let's see here. Yeah, that's going to be Simpson's first hit as a Ray. It ends up, or not first hit, but first run scored. It's a double over to the left field wall. You see his parents there celebrating. I love the fact that we got this kid up here. And then, of course, Josh Lowe comes through with that base hit to score the 2 runs to tie it up. Brand new ball game right there. You saw Caballero at shortstop. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. He makes that play between his legs, and then Brandon Lau, as ESPN's called him Brandon Lowe. I love it every time on ESPN. Every time they run Rays highlights from a big game and Brandon Lau ended up having a play or a home run, they always call him Brandon Lowe. And then they corrected themselves. it's going to be hard. Taylor Walls is at shortstop for his defense. This offense we're trying to get going, and they did get going yesterday. It's going to start being hard for Kevin Cash to put Walls back in at shortstop if Caballero is going to be playing defense like that and has that bat working, isn't it?
Tyler Walls needs to wake up his bat too.
And he'll have time to do it. Doesn't feel like it's as much of a drastic thing he has to do
The
momentarily.
last couple of games we have basically loaded. He can't do nothing for us.
And let me ask you this, Eric.
The Rays fans are always upset about the last couple of games.
You're right. And going into the
could,
series.
hey, the fun thing about this, we could be winning those games if it wasn't for Taylor Walls.
Right? Let me go full screen here. Do you see him backing me over here? All this construction going on, Eric? Coach never sits still. Mark Ferg, I swear, I've known that man for 30 years, and I have, and he never sits still. They've taken that extra bar, extended out there along Central Avenue, just inside the Edge District, and they're going to go ahead and put a whole nother bar over there. So there's so many places out here. I'm out here at Ferg's, and in the backyard, I can see the church group setting up on the main stage, of course, with Tropicana, topless Tropicana field in the background, which is weird. It's kind of, how does that look? But they're celebrating Easter Sunday. You got crew getting ready in here for the 1 o'clock game between the Rays and the Yankees today. Eric, at what time? Rays. Hey, at what point in that game yesterday did you really think the Rays had a chance to come back? Because it was a big ask, right? Rasmussen pitches just a beautiful game on Friday night. Rays can't get any offense. We had a little offense on Thursday night, but the Yankees came in here. They were owning this place, even if they made a left when they got in the stadium and not a right to go to that home field clubhouse. It felt like this was an extension of the Yankees spring training, the way they were swinging those bats yesterday. What point in the game yesterday, Eric, did you feel the Rays were going to have a chance to come back?
No, not at all.
not even. Well, they tie it up, right? And it's funny because I was celebrating a little. I guess I celebrate a lot. Again, happy Easter if you're out there joining us, share the show. Excuse me. But I even forgot about the fact that we start with a runner on second base. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there right now. I've had this conversation. I've had this argument with baseball purists. Give me the runner on second, because automatically that's a runner on base and scoring position. It gets those extra innings. I'm not going to say that there's not been some classic ball games my entire life where they went 17 innings into the next day, and they had this classic battle back and forth, and whatever. Maybe they score one, maybe they don't. Putting that runner on second, now of course it helped. It came through for us in that change. It came through for us in this situation. Morel on second base, and we ended up scoring that with Aranda's walk-off 2-run home run, his first walk-off ever. In his first walk-off in his career. I was excited as heck about the game entirely yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. It's always a marathon, right, Eric?
Could he be the next?
It's just it felt like the Yankees were going to, because remember, I said this last week when you and I were talking.
Could he be the next Franco? Could he be the one that scored the home run for us last night?
Rond at first? Yeah, well, I mean, he came through. He's a dog. And let's go ahead and give credit where credit is due. If Yandy doesn't beat out that infield hit at first base, Yandy turned those, what am I going to call them? He turned the burners on. He made it to first. He was so excited. You see Yandy, it takes him a minute out of the box. He's like, and then he's like this crossing the.
Yeah, the Rays better not trade him with the deadline. The Rays better not trade that dumbass.
I'm sorry, Eric?
Rays better not trade him either.
Yes, they did. I want to go ahead. Oh, Tim McNew, DJ Tim is open here. Hey, Ray Kennedy, I'll be there in a little later. I'm going to join you. We're going to go for coffee over there, Tim. You still owe me one. And Tim Haynes says, I agree. Put the runner on second. You know what? Let's go ahead and bring this guy in here right now because he's here. Let's get the comment off, and let's bring him on in here. We'll go three-way. Yeah. Mr. Alex Nunster. Alex, how are you, brother?
What's up, Alex? How are you?
How are we sounding? You sound. Let me hear you. Give me a sound check there, Alex.
What up?
What's up?
All right, Alex, take it away. I'm going to go full screen on you. Give me your impressions of yesterday's game in whatever chronological order you want to go.
So, first of all, Chandler Simpson, he made his MLB debut, started off with a double, RBI double, that is, by the way. So, great start for him. The issue with the Rays is the Rays, I'm going to say this the right way because Peter got pretty pissed the other day. The issue with the Rays, and the only issue that will always be with the Rays, in my opinion, is our leadership. It always will be. I'm sorry. I'm saying what I'm saying.
Me too. I agree.
Because here's what the issue is.
Kevin Cash.
No matter
Oh,
what decision Cash makes, it always seems to be wrong. We looked for every way possible to lose that game yesterday. Even after the Rays came back and did everything right, it's just, everyone's going to say he's been here for 10 plus years, and that's great. And hats off to Cash. Everyone knows. Listen, I manage a softball team, and that's hard enough as it is. You know,
Right.
how about
the
you? You
reality
get
of
for
it is
coaching?
you cannot make everyone happy. Now, granted, this is the majors. This is a whole different level, but I'll never understand. I will never understand when you're making a major league roster for the day. I don't care about matchups. The Rays, I've done a lot of research on this. I spend a lot of time on Rays baseball. The Rays are the only team that flop a roster every other day. If you look at most of these major league rosters, these rosters are sticking with the same guys, same positions, same X, Y, and Z. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays get called a special organization for certain reasons, and that's great. Yes, the Rays can manage to make division wins with less. Sure, our payroll is probably a quarter of what most teams are. That's great. We do a lot with less on top of the cheap owner, and we ain't going to go there on an Easter Sunday morning.
Hey,
But
Alex, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm not saying I don't undisagree or I don't agree or disagree with you. I see what you're saying. I would pose that one of the reasons why the Rays are what they are is because everyone down in the farm, right? Every guy down there, whether he's at Double A, Single A, or maybe even in the in the A League or playing out there in the Pacific Coast or whatever, they realize that with this organization, they've got a really solid chance to make it to the big team. But I agree with what you're saying because it's the relationships as they meld over the course of a season or three seasons, even from the minors all the way up, that you start getting these guys. And basically in 2025, we've got our entire Durham Bulls outfield here at the major league level. So
yeah,
I understand what you're saying. But I'll also say this: just last week, you said that, and I agree with this. You said that the Rays were looking at 500 would be a tall order for this team in 2025.
and
Just
I still stick with that.
well,
True
I'll
that.
pose that the fact that we've got these outfielders up at this Meisner, and we've got we got these outfielders up here now getting the real big league experience. Even though it's going to be a long summer there at the Stein, and again, 80 of our last 80 games are on the road. Or I'm exaggerating. I pose that there's going to be quite a lot of development with the relationships on this team that may even suit us for a return back to the Tropicana field in 2026.
There is no doubt that I agree with everything you're saying, but you have to look for some consistency, man. You
Okay.
have to
Yeah.
look, Chandler Simpson came out yesterday. You got to stick with him. You had Boyle pitch 6 innings of no hit baseball just last week. Why did he get sent down? You have to build consistency, which by
Yeah.
the way, Boyle pitched 6 innings, no hits into the 6th inning. The Durham Bulls pitched
Wow.
a no hitter yesterday. So you have to look for consistency when you're looking at the lineup, and fans want to see that. When you look, when you go to the Rays game, and if you're like me, that's what you're looking for. You know,
Right.
you saw Simpson go out there yesterday, made his MLB debut, had 2 hits. I want to see him in that lineup today. I don't
Yeah.
want to have to look the next day and look. You
Hmm.
replay Aranda. Let's go with Aranda real quick, and I'll drop this end of the subject. Look at Jonathan Aranda. Jonathan needs to be in that lineup every single day. That he has to be in that lineup every day. That man has been absolutely the headline of this offense. And I'm
Yes.
still shaking my head as to why there has been games, which by the way, the 1-0 loss to the Rays against the Yankees and the
Friday
Red
night.
Sox just last week, this
Right.
past week, that man was not in that lineup.
No.
There's no explanation as to why you have your hottest hitter, and I do not care about lefty, lefty, righty, righty matchup. It's
Hmm.
nonsense. No MLB team out there besides the Tampa Bay Rays goes by analytics and matchups. It's just not
Uh,
going to ever work.
Well,
that's a
Alex,
good
nobody
one.
went with the. Hey,
That's a
hold on,
good
Eric.
one.
Hold on,
That's why
Eric.
we lost the World Series. That's a good
Eric,
one.
hold on, guys. We're not. I didn't call. We're not doing a poo-poo show here. I mean,
No, we're
I
not.
agree with it. No, but I want to say this: that nobody agreed with the opener, and everybody was driving us crazy. It's like, dude, we got Tyler Glass now. We've got pitchers. We've always had pitchers. Why are we doing this opener stuff? And again, outside the box, which you have to do when you have this raised payroll. And I mean, the thing and bringing all, and I get with wanting to put the best guys in a lineup. But one of the reasons why it's an advantage to not have a $50 million a year outfielder, although I'm not saying I wouldn't want a Shohei Ohtani or I don't want an Aaron Judge, but one of the reasons why. But I'm saying we did, Eric. But that's what you do. This team is so you have a big outfielder. We start, you go back. We get a big left fielder, and then we had Randy Rosarino who's now hitting bombs in Seattle. I get that there's all these reasons the team could be better, but when you're doing it the way the Rays are doing it, and they're using sabermetrics and analytics and stuff like that, you're still putting guys. Yesterday's game, guys, let's be honest, Alex. Any of us, did we think the Rays had a shot when we were down 5 runs and then Aaron Judge scores with another base or an RBI in the 9th?
No doubt that I thought that game was over. I am not sitting here debating the fight in this team. This team, that is what makes the Rays so special. And I am not debating that. But
Right.
when you're looking at a fan perspective in a season like this, where it's a more awkward season, where ticket prices are more, you're out of a minor league ballpark, you're trying to get Stu some little bit of a stretch here. You have to have consistency. Losing these games 1-0, and by the way, you know what's even more frustrating about all of this is this is the first year the Tampa Bay Rays have actually elite starting pitching. You cannot tell me a season that you have had a starting pitching staff like this that is so elite. It's being wasted by the decisions of manager Kevin Cash.
Oh, man.
I stand by
We
that.
had
I
one.
stand by that.
Okay. Hey, stand by that.
We
Alex
had
or Eric,
one.
go ahead. What are you saying, Eric?
We had
Go
one
ahead.
since the World Series. We had elite starting pitching staff.
I got you. No, I got you. We go back to the Blake
I don't know
Snell,
how
the 6th inning,
I
2020, the
don't know
bubble
how
series.
Kevin Cash still have a job after the World Series.
Okay.
Listen,
Hey, go ahead, Alex.
I'm not saying, and I had a talk with this about, about my, with a friend yesterday. Sorry about that. I had
Okay.
a talk with a friend about this yesterday. He's a huge Yankees fan, and we were at softball yesterday. We were just talking about it, and I told him, you want to know what keeps the Yankees from winning a World Series? Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is the true reason why they lost that World Series last year. So I'm not saying it's a manager. I really believe it's not even Kevin Cash. I
Why
think
did we lose then?
the front office wants to run off analytics. Kevin Cash kind of has his hands tied back. Sure, do I think he can make decisions like yesterday, keeping Fairbanks in there for so long? Fairbanks hadn't pitched, I think, 3 days, and you leave him in there long enough to blow. Like, I think it was 3 runs he gave up, and then he
Yeah.
pulled them. That's too long, in my opinion.
Let me ask
I
you
want
this.
to get to one more point. Wait. I want to get to one more point real quick.
Okay.
You were talking about you actually brought up the point of how the Rays have turned basically relievers into starters or bullpen days.
Right.
That's why guys like Zach Littell, I think, are still struggling because Zach Littell is not built to be a starter. You're forcing someone to have a position that they're still not meant to be in the position. Zach Littell, through his entire MLB career, has always been a relief pitcher. He's a very good 2 to 3 inning tops pitcher. Zach Littell always 90% of his starts and gives up no runs through the first 3 innings. When does Zach Littell blow his runs? In the 5th inning, 4th or 5th inning, he's blown every game he's lost. And at that exact point, my point is the reason why this Tampa Bay Rays team is not getting that extra step is not because we don't have the right players on this roster.
We did last year.
Money does not buy winning baseball. It does
It
not
don't.
matter about your
No.
How
payroll.
about this?
It doesn't
No.
LA
matter about
Dodgers.
anything.
LA Dodgers.
Well, no, I
But
mean,
when they,
Eric, there are teams, but the Dodgers are also they did some Rays analytics out there for about a decade too. I'm now, so I mean, they're also, but they what they're doing is they've got the unlimited payroll,
Yeah.
and then
that's
put it
so
with
funny
the
though.
analytics.
Yes.
I'm saying that
You know what's the cool stat though? LA Dodgers beat the two American League East teams. In the
and
last,
that's
Yeah,
fine. And
the last,
listen, and that's all good. And that's all good. But what I'm saying is that you saw it in the 2020 Rays. Money does not buy winning baseball,
oh yeah,
but you saw in that 2020 World Series when Cash pulled Snell, the analytics is costing this Tampa Bay Rays team from getting to that extra step that this team is capable of. I don't care who's on your roster. I don't care how much money you put in payroll. You can put in $60 million in payroll. And you saw what the Rays did in 2020.
yeah, that was funny though.
okay, that was good. And now let's go back to yesterday's game because I was just while you were giving me that diatribe there, Alex. Which, by the way, I seriously agree. I agree with Littell. They showed the Caballero backside to Lau with the run over to first to Era with that defensive play. Is it going to be harder and harder for Kevin Cash to make that argument for Taylor Walls to be in at shortstop when you got Caballero making plays like that yesterday?
Tyler Walls needs to be gone.
It's
That's my vote.
it's a simple solution. Um,
Let's trade
I
Tyler
don't
Walls, right?
believe in sitting a player who is consistent over a player who just is struggling.
Yeah,
That's where I think Kevin Cash is really hurting some of our players. Taylor Walls, I can see it, the way he bats, the way he fields. He's just not there right now. He's not
Yeah.
in his head. You are forcing a player to go on a field when they know it's like my team. It's like my guys.
right.
I don't care if it's softball or baseball. It's like when my guys say, "I don't have it today. I want a DH today. I don't even want to be on the field today." They know when they are not capable of producing something that's going to hurt this team. Taylor Walls, and it's so unfortunate because you bring him up, right?
Right.
This man has been in the most unfortunate situations during a time that he is struggling. I counted a total of six instances this week alone where Taylor Walls has had under 2 outs and men on scoring position,
Like
two of them with the bases loaded, no
Yeah.
out. And the
super
worst
times.
one, and the worst one, were bunting with no out.
Oh,
You
we
can
talked about that.
nobody
But
That's
if
so
that
stupid. We could do way
it
more. Why
if it
we haven't
doesn't
used?
work, it's stupid, right? Like just like
Why we not using
two
a pinch?
bunts with
Why
no
we not
out.
using a pinch hitter to replace Taylor Walls? We could use a pinch hitter, could we?
well now, but if that pitcher doesn't, if that ball doesn't come in unexpectedly lower and he doesn't have to reach out, what's stupider, the bunt there with bases loaded with Taylor Walls, or Todd
Okay.
Bowles deciding to give the ball to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, who drive it right down the field and win without us ever touching the ball in overtime? I mean, these are things that when they don't work, they're glaring. But when
They're
they do
costing us.
work, which that
They're
could have
costing us
worked,
victories, though. That's more stupid. They're
that's it.
costing
Well,
us.
that's true.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna answer to that point you just said, Rick, because that's a very good question.
Okay.
The problem is that the experiment when you when you do something over and
Balls.
over and over again and it just doesn't work, how many times do you have to test the experiment to know it's
Balls is
just not going to work?
hey, but the funny
I,
thing
I
about
agree.
the Balls is better coach than Kevin Cash, though. Can we say
I
that?
think Kevin Cash, John Connor, or Cooper, Cash, and Bowles are probably, to me, talking football, hockey, and professional baseball. We got the three best coaches combined. I'm not saying they're the best in their sports. I'm not saying Cash is the best American League
Listen,
coach or
I'm
even
not here to bash Cash. I
right.
don't think
Cash.
a lot of these decisions I don't think really are his decisions. I really don't
It's
think they
Philly.
are. I don't. I
It's
think the
blame
lineup.
Philly.
I think the lineups. Sure. I think the lineups. I actually I don't know. I really don't because
worked yesterday.
Everything he does is
Yes.
on the point by matchups. And I don't think he's doing that. I think that's the front office telling him to do that. Because this team, this front office, and this organization has become so far up working with analytics that there's no way Cash is going to be on a field and see his team lose 1-0 or lose 4 out of the last 5 games straight and
Ouch.
not do nothing about it.
Hey guys,
I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I got you.
Don't see it.
Hold on for 1 second. Go ahead. Just happy Easter again. If you're tuning into a Cup of Ray live from down here at the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill down here on Central Avenue, just below 16th Street in the Edge District of St. Petersburg. It's going to be a happening Sunday out here. The Rays games are going to be on every television. There'll be some basketball. Mike Stover. There'll be some Heat playoffs. But I want to go ahead and pose this question because I see the comments. I see a couple of y'all. We already talked about one. I'm going to actually ask Alex a question about this next. But the question for today is: was it Chandler's first RBI with the double that starts that run going? Was it Yandy Diaz banging one out to first base, hustling? Was it Brandon Lau getting that hit to score those 2 runs in the 9th? Or was it Jonathan Aranda, who came in after a collision with Wortveld at home base and was bleeding, steps to the plate in the bottom of the 10th and hits the walk-off home run? Biggest play for the day comment, and we'll talk about it here on a Cup of Ray. But let me bring the guys back in here. I want to ask you, Alex. I know how you feel about it.
Good question.
Thank you, brother. Well, let me ask you this question. Tim Haynes said, agree, put the runner on second. And I know it's because it worked in the Rays' favor yesterday, but are we okay with the second, putting a runner on second to get to resuscitate the over to extra innings, or is that still a problem with a purist like yourself, Alex?
I don't think it's fair though.
I actually like it. I actually like it, and I'm going to tell you why I like it, even though it hasn't always went in the Rays' favor.
Yeah.
Because there's a very good saying, and of course it's always talked in the National Football League, and we'll also talk it with MLB, is that defense wins games. You have to have good defense to win games.
Yes.
This is the same with Major League Baseball. It's the same with this. You saw it yesterday with the Rays. We had the Rays had a bloop single to the Yankees in the 10th inning. And guess what? We dominated. We forced a pop out and 2 straight strikeouts to get out of the 10th inning for Jonathan Aranda to lead the way. The 3rd pitch into the inning and bust off a walk-off home run.
Alex, what about
your question?
Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, what about Uceta coming up there? He's got runner on second, got runners at the base, got corners with no outs, and he suddenly becomes Tommy Maddox and starts pitching that outside corner with the high heater. That was one of those plays.
That was great pitching.
Pitcher that deserves the victory, though. The pitcher deserves the. If it wasn't for the pitcher.
Oh no! No, that was what I was saying. Like the defense and the pitching to get out of that inning, it's very hard when you have the New York Yankees of all teams. First and third, nobody out, and you force a pop-up and 2 straight strikeouts to get out of that inning. That was nothing short of extraordinary. And I told myself when that happened, something special is going to happen here. I really believe that something special is going to happen. And sure enough, it was the 3rd pitch that Jonathan Aranda sent it deep to go over the boards and take the Rays home with a walk-off win. But I want to answer your question, Ray.
Yes, go ahead, Alex.
You asked a question just a minute ago, and your question was, what was it? Chandler? Was it Aranda? Was it Brandon Lau? I told myself after Saturday's lost, or after Friday's lost, that Chandler Simpson was going to get called up and he's going to make a difference in this lineup. I really believe having his face in there, his presence, if Cash can keep the lineup alone, the Rays are going to have a very good little stretch here. But as I've been saying this morning, it's going to take consistency. You cannot change what works. I want to see Kevin Cash release that lineup today, and I want that lineup to be the same. It works.
Well, I was going to say, I agree with that. I think the only thing you do is this morning, you wake up early, you call Aranda, you say, hey, how's the nose feeling there? Because you took that collision. I think that dog wants to go on first base. I think that you got to go with the same exact lineup, not only for consistency, but because that's intimidating now for this Yankees team as they complete that 4th game. Go ahead, Eric.
Let's get rid of Tyler Walls. Get him out of the lineup. What about Taylor Walls?
Okay, I think we agree. If Walls is at shortstop today and they don't got Caballero there, it's probably going to be. I think Rays fans should just stand up and walk out and let the 4,000 or 5,000 Yankees fans just sit there and enjoy the loss. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's no, but it seriously is. It's a consistency issue. You have to have consistency in order to be successful. That's why all these teams do it. That's why these teams go on these these winning stretches. The Rays have never done that because the consistency, which by the way, besides the 2023 campaign when the Rays started, was it 13-0? I think it was 13-0 the Rays started. But what was the key to the Rays starting 13-0? It was the same starting lineup that never ever changed.
Why we not
You had
using the same?
Lowe, Siri, you had Randy, you
Why
had.
did they change Lane? That's my thing. Why did they change the?
Well, here's the thing, Eric. You're going to have to change, right? Because
Why?
look at me, I'm doing my presidential hands. You're going to have to change because the salary, the way that this team's, and I get it. We're going back to Stu Sternberg, but they're going to continue flipping people around. You're going to continue to trade away someone, but you're going to get a Boyle back, or you're going to get a Glass now in a trade.
Oh no! I want to answer his question, and I think he's.
By the way, guys, I'll let you answer. But happy 420 too. I just realized looking at my computer, and I'm sure there's a few of you out there that are on 420 day. You may already be seeing a very large purple bunny bouncing by your window. But go ahead, Alex. What you're saying?
I did want to say though, but I think what Eric is meaning by consistency is sure you're going to have a roster change. Which, by the way, a lot of people are forgetting one secret weapon the Rays have. Once you get Kim back in that lineup healthy, which will probably be another month.
There's your shortstop.
There's your shortstop. Because, Yep, there's your shortstop. You put Cabby a little bit on third and second, or if not a DH, and I think you won't see any more Taylor Walls because I think you won't need him at that point.
You'll see Cabby platoon there at short.
You'll see Cabby switch it out a little bit, but it's going to come down to can the Rays survive another month? Because the Rays have a very tough stretch, man. They are getting ready to answer teams playing. They have a tough month of May, man. I was looking yesterday. They're playing teams that have 10 or more wins already. So
it gets rough. It's really rough.
It's rough.
I'm going to answer Eric's question on that. Yeah. Oh, Eric, we lost Eric.
I'm here.
Okay, don't touch yourself. I'm kidding. Happy Easter, everybody. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I'm looking at the schedule right now.
Eric, okay, because Eric makes a point there that there are probably quite a few teams, especially as you get more towards the trading deadline or into the maybe when you get your full team, that may want to have a Taylor Walls, that defense at shortstop. But that's been one of the Rays' signature deals beside pitching has been defense, and Walls plays a really great defensive shortstop.
And that's what's so unfortunate. Like it's how can you be so good and so bad at the same time? Because I will give him that. His defense is nothing short of incredible. I mean, he makes some plays that most guys probably don't play.
Him on defense, not play him on offense.
And I think that's the only reason why he's in the lineup as much as he is, because his defense has saved the runs. But at the end of the day, it's absolutely. I think he's just been. I think it's as unfortunate as you can ever ask. That how convenient is that you've had 3 times this week alone where you've had the bases loaded with nobody out, and Taylor Walls happens to be walking up to bat to either screw it up or end it in a double play. It really is so unfortunate.
Is there a way can we take him out of the lineup, take him to number 9 or 8?
And that's the thing too. And that's the thing that I don't understand that Cash does is, and that's a good point he just brought up.
Please.
Why put someone so high in the lineup when you're struggling so bad? If you think that's going to boost their confidence, it's not, because and a lot of people say it does, but it really does not, because I mean, are you seeing any change? Are you seeing him approach the way he ABs? I mean, this man swings and whips every single thing coming his way. And by the way, it's not his fault. I'm going to say that. It's not his fault. You want to know why it's not his fault? Because he's telling you, I do not belong in the lineup right now. I am
Ouch.
struggling.
Yeah,
Hey,
and well,
hey
well,
guys,
and
you know
I
something funny though? We can get to 10 wins today. If we win today, we can.
Like I said,
okay,
you
so
have options. You have options. I think
I'll be back,
Cappy
guys,
did
later. I'm gonna
great.
make coffee. I'll be back, guys, later. I'm gonna make coffee.
okay, Eric, go ahead, brother. Hey, good talking to you, Eric. Stop in
You
again
guys
next
welcome.
time. All right.
You
Hey,
welcome.
Alex. All right, brother. He does bring up some good points. That's why Eric's my guy. Let me ask you though. I'm looking at the lineup from yesterday, right? So you had Caballero hitting down with Rortvet. And you had Meisner, and Mangum, and then Aranda batting out of the sixth spot. But you had Chandler Simpson off the top with Diaz coming in DH at second, which is weird. DH at second, right? But Yandy's been also. You made a great point that Yandy gets started, and he did last weekend. And then of course Walls wasn't in there, but then Brandon Lau. Alex, do me a favor because I don't want to go too long today because obviously we all want to celebrate Easter. But give me your top 5 plays of the day yesterday from 5 to 1. And again, we understand it's one game. There's 139 more to go. We're not celebrating like we just won the series, but I think the Rays established the fact that the Stein is their field for 2025, and we were worried going into the series.
I'll give you my top 3, and then
Okay, 3.
maybe we can speak some lightning before we get off here.
All right, brother.
I'm only going to give you 3. I
Yes.
think Chandler Simpson's his major league hit was
Yes.
number 1 because at the end of the day, this is me personally. You asked me personally. I
Yes.
think I did say that when he was called up, I was telling my buddy that if he gets that hit and he gets this team going,
Yes.
the offense is going to be a different changer because sometimes it works to where there's that one person that it's that one key thing that you need in a lineup to make a difference. And I think that's what Simpson did yesterday. I really was hoping, and
Yeah.
was hoping and gambling the fact that he would come in, he would stay hot like he was doing in the minors. He would get called up, have a great attitude, get some great hits, and sure enough, he showed up, and so did the offense. And by the way, if you don't call that an incredible comeback, even I thought we were done with 2 outs. That brings me back to number 2.
Go ahead, number 2.
That's my number 2. You said top 3. That's my number 2.
The comeback. Okay, the comeback itself.
With 2 outs with Brandon Lau with the RBI 2-run single to tie the game. That's a crucial spot because Brandon Lau's not that been too good with 2 outs. But yeah, he looked good. He took a great at bat. Knocked in those 2 RBIs, and sure enough, we tied it. And my number 1 goes to Jonathan Aranda for the most consistent hitting guy in the lineup with everything on the line. Everything on the line after getting out of that inning, top of the 10th. You go to the bottom of the 10th, 3 pitches in, and Jonathan Aranda takes you deep, the hottest hitter in the Rays lineup. That's my number 1.
And I'm going to agree with all 3 of them, but I'm going to give you my angle on all 3 of why this win was so significant. The first win against the Yankees there at the Stein. 1, you talked about Chandler Simpson's base hit there that scores that key run that gets that momentum going there, right?
Yep.
Bounces over that left field wall like it played like a minor league field, right? It played like a minor league field. Number 2,
Sure
that Brandon Lau blue pit in the center field. They were playing him deep because Brandon can hit the ball. They played it like a minor league spring game. They were back on it. They had to come in. We get the runners on second and third home to get that tie to take us to the 10th. And of course, Aranda had the collision again with Rortvet there earlier in the game, playing with that sun. The Rays the Rays play around the entire league, but that sun was coming from the west. And if you know how Steinbrenner Field is situated, Aranda was coming in on the sun. He'd had that mist the night before. And of course, he gets that, and then he gets that base hit over the right field porch, which is the significance of Yankee Stadium. I just love the fact, again, Alex, tell me about the worry you had, if you did, that the Rays were going to possibly drop all 4 to the Yankees and let them own this place. Did the Rays do enough yesterday?
If the Rays would have dropped all 4 to the Yankees this weekend,
yes.
I really thought that was going to be the end of the season. And I'm going to tell you why, even though people say it's so early, it's because the Rays are on a team that builds success on early part of the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Always been that way. Just like the Rays went 13-0 to start that season. I was mentioning a couple seasons ago. They
Iconic.
built off that. They didn't really slow down all that year. I really did think that this series was going to be the setting tone of this, at least the next month, because the next month, in my opinion, is really the toughest stretch of the season. Because
Tough.
I'm telling you, Ray, we're facing some tough teams. I think you got the Padres in there. You got the Astros in there twice. And by the way, the Astros, even though their record is kind of where we are, don't sleep on the Astros. Which, by the way, you want to know one Astro? This came to my mind. I wanted to mention it to you.
Oh, you said Astros. I thought you meant asterisks.
No, Astro. You want to know what one Astro that got traded this offseason and is having lights up in another city right now? Can you guess what Astro think? Because I know you know the offseason trades that happen.
It wasn't the free agent signing of Bregman in Boston, right?
No,
somebody else.
You want me to tell you who it is?
Yes, please, Alex.
Mr. Kyle Tucker with the Chicago Cubs lighting up. He had a walk-off single, I think it was 2 nights ago, and then he had 4 RBIs yesterday. Dude,
Cubs.
this man the Cubs are making a comeback this year. But hey, listen, happy Easter to everyone. It is an absolutely amazing day out here today on a beautiful Sunday. I did want to talk real quick about the Bolts because we do have the playoffs starting in 2 days.
Playoffs.
Go
ahead.
What are your thoughts? And then I'll give you mine going into this huge state division rival, which, by the way, if y'all remember, did not go well for the Bolts last year. How confident are you going into this series against the Florida Panthers, which, by the way, I think we beat them 6-2 just the other night?
Yeah, and Alex, thanks for this question. It's they knocked us out of the playoffs last year and they win that championship, their first in team history. So you felt like they were coming high. Now they got some injuries, but then they got oh my God, I'm dropping his name now. The Boston player they got down there. They literally acquired him.
Marchand. They got Brad Marchand or Marchand. I can't remember.
Marchand. And the reason why that is significant or intimidating to me is because we know that even going back to Boston, he was a thorn in the Lightning side as far as the way he could get in their heads. This team doesn't seem like, with this, but the victory over the Panthers last week, doesn't want to let that get in their head. But how much of that was games play on the Panthers' part? So but I still think that this Panthers Lightning matchup in the first round of the NHL playoffs is probably one of the best, if not the best, matchups across the entire league as far as thorn in their side, a playoff history from last season, and being one of our top, the teams that we really want to play as far as in-state. What are your thoughts on this game, Alex?
That matchup is being talked around all around the National Hockey League, and what people are not understanding is I think Brad Marchand, or however you say his name, is actually having a negative impact on this team because if you look at their numbers since he's been traded from the Boston Bruins, I think it is, over to the Panthers, their shots on goal alone are way down, and I think these fans are realizing that they just don't have it this year. So, but the good thing for the Bolts is that the Bolts are getting healthy. Look at Jake Gensel. He came back. He scored a goal on the last because he had been out for I think 2 or 3 games and he was hurt and a lot of people were nervous about him. But he came back the last game, not against the Rangers. Which, by the way, people are nervous because we lost to the Rangers in the last game. I think it was 3-0, 6-0. It was bad. But we kept guys limited to 20 minutes on the ice.
Yes.
So I noticed that, and I told you that, and you asked me that last week. Do I think that they get full ice time? And they did not.
Right.
So I'm not worried about the last game against the Rangers. I think that was just, not putting too much pressure on them, not preventing injury, X, Y, and Z. I really am going into high hopes that the Bolts are going to start home on Tuesday night at Amalie Arena, where it's going to be a full sellout crowd, which it always is. It's going to be a great 2 games, and I think the Lightning are going to set the tone. And we continue to have great pass and shots on goal and put
Yes.
that pressure that we did not last year. I think this team is built a little different. And you'd be surprised because a lot of people are forgetting that we're doing all this without our former captain, Steven Stamkos, who, by the way, had one of his worst NHL seasons with the Nashville Predators. But keep that in mind that I really think that the Bolts are going to have to get to a hot start really quick in order to have a great series.
I'm gonna go. Hey, Alex, I want to get you out of here. Stay here 1 second. Happy Easter, Alex. I appreciate you. I'm gonna bring a special guest in. I know you got to go. You got to wait. Looks like you're playing in a tournament today, huh?
No, I'm not playing a tournament today.
You got to go, or you want to stick around for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take you out for a second, and I'm gonna bring in my good friend Jair. First of all, ministering down here. I'm gonna put these headphones on you so you can tell people about the church and what we got going on.
Yes, sir. Okay. Hey, how's it going, family? I am Jair. I'm one of the pastors here at Current Church. We're a mobile church, and we got a good relationship with Mr. Fergs. So we do church right here at Fergs in downtown St. Pete, 1320 Central Avenue South. And as you know, today is Resurrection Day. It's Easter Sunday. Today is the day that Jesus has risen. So, hey, we're going to give it everything we got in worship. And we got open doors, literally no doors. We're doing church outside. So come do church with us. Come have a good time. Hear some good music. Hear some good word. And yeah, that's what we're doing. And shout out to my man Ray right here.
Are you
rolling down the Tampa Bay area? Yeah, I'm at Bergs right now.
All right, I'm actually gonna get in my car and come down right now.
Okay, yes, sir.
I'm dead serious.
Okay, yeah. Ask for
Jair,
or I'll look for you. What's your name? Alex.
Yes.
Alex.
All right. Hey Ray. I'm actually gonna get off here. I'm actually gonna come down there. I'm serious.
Hey, go do your thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You keep doing what you're doing.
You keep doing what you're doing. Much more important than what I'm doing. Let me tell you, Alex Jair, he's just one of the greatest guys. First of all, you got to hear this guy rap. You got to hear him sing. You got to see him take the stage. That's one of the things I love about the church down here is they take the stage over in the Ferg's backyard there. They got all the people are out inside here, especially on a beautiful day like today, and they're ministering, and especially on Easter. I can't believe he came over and said hi to me. I always go over to say hi to him, but he's in the middle of, doing this thing. But, yeah, what'd you talk to him about there, Alex? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, yep. There you go.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's go back to the Lightning. I will tell you this about these playoffs. Come on, Alex. Playoffs. Okay. Got to keep the porch clean in front of Vazzy. You got to keep that porch clean because Marchand's going to get in there. He's going to look to put a thumb in the eyeball. That's going to be the Panthers game because you're right. They're injured a little bit. They're not playing and not scoring the goals they did last season, which they were on like a historic run for what they have done in the past. But they're going to look to make the porch dirty because the dirtier that front porch is, the better chance you have at getting those goals by Vazzy. You keep the porch clean and keep playing like you've been playing here in 2025. The Lightning are going to have no problems. And like Peter Blake said the other night in the Sports Web, the sky's the limit for this team.
Yep, like I said, you have to. Oh, by the way, the one thing that the Lightning, I keep wanting to say Rays. The one thing that the Lightning have struggled is puck control and turnovers. Gotta have better puck control. That's the one downfall that this team does have is just bad puck control. So if you can keep those in check, don't. By the way, one thing that the Bolts have struggled with the last 2 seasons is on the power play is, guys, stop passing so much. Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck. Seriously, I've never seen an NHL team pass the puck more than this team does. So, anyway, get the puck on net. Have great defense. Cover Vasi. Stop leaving Vasi dry to hang. Or high and dry to hang.
It's funny though. You talk about the passing. Remember when Sergei Fedorov first came in as our GM, and this team first started developing? They were playing like the Detroit Red Wings. One of their signature deals was the crisp stick passing, and of course that's what we had here. That's how we got the back-to-back. That's how we got that Stanley Cup. But the thing is that now you're right. Now you're almost as if you're you're so tied to it, to having to make that pass. It felt like in the power play that they are going like just that one or two passes too long because the other team's ending up getting it out of the zone or getting it on a turnover. So yeah, I agree. Shoot it faster. Get it off the stick faster there.
Yep. But
hey, brother.
Good puck control, good defense. And protect your goal. And I think it's going to be a good series.
Well, first of all, you're all sports in here in Tampa Bay area, Alex. Who do you got the Bucks taking in the first round? The other number 19 on Thursday night.
I keep getting asked that, and I really don't know. You're going to need to go for an edge rusher. I was talking with Peter the other night on his show. Right. I think you have to get an edge rusher, and I'm not really sure who's available in the draft. I haven't really got into that. I've been so busy with the Rays this time of year. Got to get an edge rusher because the Bucks led the way in the most time that your opponent quarterback had the ball. If you're holding the ball and your quarterback has more time than 3 seconds or 4, 5, 6 seconds in the pocket, you're getting destroyed. So the Bucks need to get an edge rusher and need to figure out, are they going to keep Jamel Dean or move on with Jamel Dean in the secondary? Because that's going to be another big question, because I think your offense, with the wide receiver core or our offensive line for the most part is very much
tight ends.
Tight ends look good. I think, of course, what Bucky did last season for his rookie campaign, over 1,000, I think he had over 1,200 yards last season on the ground. I think the Bucs offensive core is absolutely great. You don't work on the offensive core. I think Baker's very happy with what he's looking with and playing with on the offensive side. But the Bucs defense killed, and you saw against the Washington Commanders that the secondary got freaking destroyed. So you have to work on that edge rushing and that secondary, because those are the two positions that lack on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team.
You go back, and I mean, that was with Jaden Daniels, right? And the fact of the matter is, he's such a – and now you're going to have Michael Penix here in the South playing for the Falcons this season. So you're going to have these quarterbacks. Now, Penix is a little less because he's had more injuries, had a few knee injuries, a little less inclined maybe to run first, but he's got a great arm. But yeah, even though you've got a great front end, you're still going to have a back end that can hold up in case that front end doesn't get home. Let me ask you this. People have said Rashad White, because of Bucky Irving, Rashad White could be trade bait or trade for the Buccaneers. I pose that having two running backs that can block and are also great hands out of the backfield, you can't have enough of those.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is there a team out there, or do you think that if the team calls to Jason and says, look, we could use this, but we know you got Bucky, we could use a Rashad White, or do you hold on to that because you like to have that 1-2 punch in the backfield?
I'm holding on to Rashad White because I don't believe in having only one decent running back on your roster. So I think I think the Bucs are going to hold on to Rashad White. But the Bucs, there's been a lot of talk this week that I think who was it that announced that Jalen Ramsey was available? I think it was the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins announced that
they kind of put it out there. Yeah, look, you could find a trade partner for you there, Jalen.
A lot of people are thinking the Bucs are going to go on that. I don't like it. I think it's too much money. I think he's owed over $20-something million this year. But
it was $24 million, but he's still owed 20, and he's on the wrong side of 30 at 31. And we sound like here I am 55. I'm like 31 years old.
But wait. But people are saying, would you rather have him over Jamel Dean? And that's a tough one, because would I rather pay more for a more caliber type, decent person in the secondary? Yes, but not at his cost. Because I think that they're going to also want a draft pick for us to even think about making that trade with them. So, and I think that's going to be a good draft pick. So if I'm the Bucs, like I said, you initially asked me about the draft. I'm going into the draft working on that secondary and working on that edge rushing or that pass rushing for sure, and boosting up that defense, because you're going to have to make a decision, or the Bucs are going to have to make a decision. Do we cut ties with Jamel Dean? Because I'm not sure what he's owed this year, but there's been a lot of rumors going out that the Bucs are thinking about parting ways with Jamel Dean.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got his cap hit for 2026 or 25 is 15 million, 15-1. His 2025 cash, he's still owed 13 million. And of course, Jalen Ramsey, who the Dolphins took care of 4 million of his guaranteed, still owed 21 million, but he's on a multi-year. So, I mean, it would be an expensive rental. But if Jason breaks it down and Jalen could still be a dominant back there with an Antoine Winfield and the rest of your players, your young group, your young core, if you will, of secondary. Or Jamel Dean, who's been here and you got comfort with him. He's shown that he can get burnt like toast on a Sunday morning Easter service. I don't know why I said that, but go ahead.
That was a good one. Jamel Dean is just not, I'm gonna say it in a ghetto way, but he's just not that stressed, man. He's not that secondary caliber player,
right,
for a team that really is a very healthy and decent team. I just think that's just a position. By the way, another thing, he can't stay healthy. That's another thing with him. So
yeah, no, that's probably because you're most, Donovan Smith. Your best ability is your availability.
It's like him and Taylor Walls. It's like everything is it's worth it because you make great plays, but you can't stay healthy. You're either getting burnt sometimes. It's unfortunate, but
you want to hear something I love about this? Sunday morning, I got the great music going on, great worship in the back here, and the Rays Yankees replay from yesterday just came on all the televisions in here. You can probably see a few of them in the background, and I'm gonna sit down here and I'm gonna probably end up watching this game because I didn't watch. I said I've been listening. I don't know if you, Alex, you're always traveling every time like me. You're probably the only guy that gets about town as much as I do, but I love WD. I love what they're doing on the Rays radio network. I love listening to Andy Freed and Neil Solondz and Chris Adams-Wall with the post game. But I'm going to sit here and watch them. And I love the fact that they wore the City Connects on Friday night, right? I don't see the Skyway hat as much anymore. Do they still wear the Skyway hat? Because that was so fresh, but it doesn't really fit in over there.
I'm not a fan of the Skyway hat, really.
Really?
I liked it in the beginning. I thought it was cool, and in fact, I had like 3 of them. But I'm not really a fan.
What would the Howard Franklin?
But if you look,
there you go.
I know this is a messed up one because it's old, but I like these ones. I like these designs that they came out. But
I love it. What would you do if you want to do a City Connect hat between Pinellas County and Hillsborough County, since we're sharing the Rays this year for 1 year or until you get a new stadium built, Tampa? But I mean, what would go on the Rays Connect hat, the City Connect hat for the Hillsborough Pinellas, like a picture of the ferry that's going to be non-existent here after this week, or the Howard Franklin, which is more of a flat bridge with a little hump in the middle there? What would you see on that hat, Alex?
That's a tough call, but you know what I want to see on the. You know what I want to see on that hat? A new stadium somewhere.
Just put a picture of a stadium, brother, and just make sure there's a roof on it.
By the way, has there been any updates on that yet, or no?
No. And I'm going to check this out. I saw that J.P. Peterson posted yesterday. He was on a show, and the guy posted for him. He did another breakdown. I'll tune into that because I'm sure if there's anything new to be known,
I'm going to say this because I got into a small debate with somebody the other night. It was last night. I like J.P. Peterson. I think he does amazing work, but at the end of the day, he's the only one reporting this. I haven't heard. Sure, Peter's gonna say, Rob Manfred over and over and over. Sure, he's pushing the sale, but
Cody Brazil. Or Brody Brazil, who's got a fantastic pod, by the way. Check that out.
He's got one of the best pods, but
he's good, yeah. But
he said J.P. Peterson is the only one reporting this. I'm not knocking J.P. Peterson, but I don't know what kind of insights that he has. But man, you're pressuring to get something sold. Now, people ask me. I think you asked me last week. Do I think about the Trop and that whole situation? I think the Trop is a good thing because it bought the Rays more time. That's the key thing here is time in Tampa Bay. Buying time, not only does it give you time to build a stadium because you're not going to be homeless, because a lot of people, because you do not want to go X, Y, and Z every single season for the next 3-4 years, figuring out where you're going to play every single season. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Right. That's why the Tropicana Field worked, because it has to work, because the city of St. Pete's not going to pay another dime for this team to play somewhere else in 2026, unless it's up at maybe in Clearwater there, up at where the Threshers play, or if it's maybe even not down Port Charlotte where the spring training is, but you're not going to pay any more money for this team to cross the bridge. And at the end of the day, you're going to have the stadium here, and with a new roof, it could feasibly last another decade is easy. But here's the thing, Stu, don't give us this BS about how the county can put up 200 million and the city can put up 200 million and you'll put up 200 million. We've already been to that rodeo. We celebrated twice in July a new stadium. You're not going to get another deal like that. You could stick around.
You would be
Trust me.
so dumb to have
Yeah.
the goal to sit there and make another proposal after everything, all time, resources, and money wasted on a big slogan of here to stay, and you backstab this community after 2 major hurricanes. It's nothing short of disgusting.
Well, Montreal, the bubble, the Ybor, here, the separate city thing.
So much over the last decade, but
yeah,
I just don't understand what he's holding on to. I don't get it. You're asking over $2 billion for a team that by Forbes is only worth $1.3 billion. You want $2 billion for the team. You got that offer almost at $1.8 billion. That's what I've heard. The highest been made to him. You declined that. I mean, this is all nothing but greedy, and I have never seen someone so greedy in my life, and I just don't understand the concept. I don't get it. But I will say one thing during this very tough stretch is, for all you Rays fans out here, man, we deserve so much better. I am so sorry that we have to put up through all of this, because I'm a diehard Rays fan. And I know there's hundreds of diehard Rays fans out there that just want to have a great stadium with a great owner who keeps players. I want to keep a jersey. I want to actually keep a jersey. It's so unfair to all these to this community, not even just the Rays fans, for the community to go through 2 devastating hurricanes. Which, by the way, in Florida, you don't know what you're going to face.
It happens.
Face it again this year.
And let's go ahead and I'll go work it back to several. Maybe that jersey, I always say it should say player to be named later. Or in my case, I would just do Kennedy. But you talked about the fact that JP was the only one here that we're hearing consistently reporting. And the Tampa Times over here, they're literally in the community. They're walking that. Colleen Wright, fantastic. Mark Topkin, fantastic job they're doing covering the ins and outs, and Colleen covers the politics of it with the covering the government here. But let's wait and see what the Tribune, what the Tampa Tribune says about all this. Because wait a minute, that's right, the Tampa Tribune is no more, because they enveloped into the Tampa Bay Times, St. Pete Times, and Tampa Bay Times.
Listen, and Mark Topkin and Colleen Wright they work for Stu. I'm just saying that based I disagree, buddy. Based off some of Mark Tompkins' posts,
right?
You can tell that there's some shadiness to it, because he hides a lot of information during this race saga over the last 10 years versus what others are actually reporting.
Well, I'll give you this though, Alex. Same thing with the crew at WDAE. I mean, they're but I'm going to give it to T-Kraz. T-Kraz also said Chandler had to get back up here. He called his mark, but he gets Eric Neander on this show, and the two of them are like talking about their Tennessee whiskey and smoking cigars and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, that's the reason why the evolution, the sports web, that's the reason why we have such a significant following. When they finish, though, is because we're not adhering. We were not going to disrespect owners in public. We're not going to go and just throw all the mud at you, but we don't have to kiss their ass, because they're not giving us anything. We're doing this for you, for the evolution of sports. So go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is no hiding any disrespect towards Stu, because Stu has pushed this community to a level that is, because you got to remember this: sport teams will always be the face of your community, because It's like the Bucks and the Bolts. Why are they successful? Why do the Bolts? Let's use the lighting because I'm a season ticket holder for the Bolts too. Which, by the way, I will be there Tuesday night. Tuesday night, cannot wait.
Did you get a winner for that other seat? Did you give it away? You don't have to say
I'm
any
not
here.
giving it away. I will be giving it away. Well, actually, my buddy will be drawing a name off that post. A lot of people don't understand how it works, but just real quick, because I don't like sharing all this out, but I'll share it with you. That way you have a chance.
I tell you what, just give us a little brief behind it, because people need to realize we follow. Yes.
Like the post, and what it is he takes the names, he puts it in a wheel. Now, we used to disclose, or no, we used to share the winners, but Bolts tickets,
yeah.
I can't do it with Bolts tickets. I'll tell you why I can't do it with Bolts tickets, because Bolts tickets are very high sought after, and I've had people inbox my winners some threats. So,
really? Okay,
yeah,
and we had a little
like
issue with the Rays too.
It's not like it's not as bad with the Rays. And actually, in the beginning, I had one female winner, and I won't disclose her name, but I actually posted it with a picture of her and her son.
Her son went to his first game. Yes.
Yep. And there was another one, and her son went too, and she got a bunch of threats for her tickets.
That's
so,
you know what? That's the dark side of social media, brother.
But I promise you, it's so easy. Just like the post, and I think he usually either he'll do it or I do it. I just basically send you your tickets. Now for this game, I will be there with you. So if you win, we're going to be having a ball up in the club seats, because I'm going to give away the club seats, not the ice seats, because we have two. We have two left this season because we only kept two for the playoffs. We have
playoffs.
We have two on the ice level, a row back from the glass, and then we have our club seats. But I'm gonna keep the club seats just because of the luxury items that you get.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire on this, because I did like that post like I always do, and you just
did. Everyone did. Everyone, dude. I feel so bad, dude. Ray, if you know how many people are like, can you pick me in my inbox every time, it would blow your mind.
Well, what about Eric?
I try. And listen, real quick on an added note. On an Easter Sunday too, man. I love our community. I love people. I love bringing smiles to people.
Yes.
It's such a passion to see people smile for me, man. Listen, I'm not perfect in life, and I'll tell you on Easter that that life is very short. But to put a smile on someone's face, especially for people that are less unfortunate than others, it is nothing short of a blessing that God has given me in my heart. So, I'm not perfect. People hate me, and that's okay. People always hate people who give.
Always.
And that's a part of it. But I am so blessed that God gives me a heart to be able to give to others and make a difference. Make a difference through Tampa Bay sports, and it's probably something I will never stop doing. But, dude, it has been a great year. Now, if the Rays can get a stadium, sheesh.
Remember the new City Connect hats. We just want to see a stadium, and they can put it. They can even put it. They can set it in the water, Tampa Bay, and then like have a mermaid and a dolphin like jumping around the sides of them to reflect all of our geographic of population here in Tampa Bay. Alex, you know what?
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
Before you hang up on me, let's set the tone today.
I hung up on him. Hold on a minute, Alex. I'll bring you back in here.
Stop playing with me.
I'm kidding.
So let's set the tone today before I leave. So who's on the mound today?
Tosh, right?
Is it Tosh? No, it's not Tosh. It's
Tosh was Thursday night. Boz. Not Pepiao.
Please don't tell me it's Zach Littell.
It is Littell, I think, now that you mention it. But I would pose it's a fantastic day for him to have a comeback game. I can't believe you asked me, because I almost thought I knew this. But let me go. I'm gonna keep looking while you talk, brother.
If we can actually come back and split the season, or the series, that'd be great. But as I told you before, I'm gonna keep that lineup the same.
Yes.
have that consistency. I want to see consistency. I did tell you that it is a 141st pitch. So
Ryan Pepiot.
hopefully, huh?
Ryan Pepiot's on the mound
Ryan
at 105
Pepiot and
against Fried, left-handed pitcher Fried for the
Max
Yankees. Which means
Fried is very good. He's a
we're gonna have
very
an all
tough.
right-handed lineup, aren't we?
You're gonna see Taylor.
I know, I'm kidding. All right, Alex. Hey, brother, you know I appreciate.
Listen,
we're gonna go ahead. Oh, you go ahead.
I'm gonna get
I'll let
out
you
of here,
finish.
but listen, I'm
All
gonna
right.
get out of here. But guys, thank you so much, Ray. Thank you so much for having me, dude. Let me know how often you do this. I love being a part of this and being a part of your channel, and being a way to have an opportunity to go out
Well,
and have a good
do me
time.
a favor. You're on YouTube, right?
Yes, I am.
Follow my YouTube page. I actually posted today's show on my YouTube page, and would you share that too? Because it's another platform, and sometimes it's a significantly
Let me tell you something.
the frame rate's better
I
there.
know a lot of people. I can get this thing
Do it.
this thing kind of blown up. So
Do it. Blow it up.
if
It's the
you
evolution.
anytime you want me to, of course, we're always doing this for Peter too. Love Peter H. Blake over at the Sports Web. Please follow him.
Okay.
I think every Mondays and Wednesday nights we all have one of the best Tampa Bay sports talking show hosts or talking shows out there. So please be a part of the evolution. I think we go on live at least like 9 o'clock on Wednesdays and Monday and Wednesday nights.
Have you ever been a part of Alex? Have you ever been a part of Turnbuckle Talk with Peter?
Never been a part of Turnbuckle Talk with Peter.
Do you like wrestling?
Oh, a little bit.
Okay, for me, I'm like
at this time of year though. At this time of year, I'm so wrapped to the baseball, man.
Yes.
I don't think baseball and bolts at this time of year. I don't really get into anything else right now because I'm deadlocked. When that first pitch of MLB opening day starts, I'm deadlocked on baseball.
It's like Thursday night. I mean, and it's been like this in years past. We've even had the draft parties out here at the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. But I was going to say, Ferg's has actual wrestling once a month out in the back here. I'm talking they've got heels, they've got top ropes, they've got turnbuckles, they've got everything. So you and we don't have to be in the middle of it because we're fans of wrestling. But this time of year, no time for it. You and I can sit right here. We'll have the Rays game on the Big Tron, but we can actually enjoy a little bit of wrestling.
You know what?
Distance.
There was something said the other night, and I think one day you and me should make a plan with them. But dude, I would love to meet you guys. I've met.
Oh
Peter,
yeah.
I've met Peter and Harry the Creek a few times, but
we've been to a Rays game together.
Dude, I would. Oh yeah, I met you too. Duh.
Well, I mean, it was at the Rays game.
Actually, I met you, and I think I met your son too. You guys
My son Tristan. Yes.
Yes, you guys are amazing people, by the way. But listen, we all should make a plan sometime. I would love to hang out with you guys, talk sports with you guys. You guys are an absolute great. Listen, people don't understand that it is so awesome to have a show where you can put things in life aside and just focus on something fun and sports and good vibes. The good, the bad, the ugly, whether it's the Rays, the Bucks, the Bolts, or even as you were just saying, some wrestling, which by the way, WrestleMania was yesterday.
Yes, don't ask me what happened.
It was the
Did
top
Cody Rhodes win?
I don't know, but I heard that the top one was it Seth Rollins that came in and turned their back?
I saw that.
Was it CM Punk or something?
CM Punk.
No. It was Roman Reigns. I think it was Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman turned his back on Roman. Was it Roman Reigns? Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. But dude, it was incredible. I can't wait to go back and see the highlights. But
you said you weren't a big wrestling fan, but you're right. It is this time of year. We'll do that plan, but I'm gonna talk to Mark Ferguson down here. I'm gonna make sure that he'll set us all up with the delicious Best of the Bay wings and burgers.
Head down to Ferg's. Head down to Ferg's, one of the best local restaurants. It sits right across the street from the Trop. When the Trop gets back up and running in 2026, it's one of the best hangout spots to go before and after a game. It is so
Well,
much
brother,
fun.
I'm going to talk to Coach and make sure he's going to put a spread out for us. You, Peter, myself, we'll get everyone down here and
Dude,
we'll do a
hey,
Rays
Lloyd,
watch party here next
I've
month. Within the
never
next month.
told Peter that, but I would love to actually genuinely sit down and meet you guys. You guys
Oh,
are just
brother.
some amazing people. And we have to include the White Sox man of himself,
Harry the Greek.
Harry the Greek.
I
Who does
messaged
not
him, by
like
the
me.
way.
I troll him every time. No, I love Harry the Greek.
The other
I
night,
love Harry the Greek. He's a great
the
guy.
other night, Wednesday, and if y'all didn't see this, go back to, was it Wednesday night show or Monday night? It was Wednesday night that, or Monday night that you came in and you didn't want to. We thought you were going to talk lightning. You broke the news with the lightning, or that was last week. But then you didn't want to talk Rays. You wanted to go completely. And Harry's back there going, "Oh, it's Alex. Alex talks about whatever. Talk about Tic Tacs. Talk about whatever."
Listen, I saw a comment that no one was talking about the Bolts, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go and talk some Bolts playoff
You
hockey.
did playoffs.
Yeah, I was
Alex.
like, you can't forget about the Bolts because they're so set on the draft right now, and I get it. It's almost draft time, which I think the draft is this week, isn't it?
Thursday night it starts. Yeah,
The draft is this week. So who are the Bucks going to select? By the way, who are the Bucks? Are the Bucks going to go for an edge rusher? Or are they going to go for something else? I mean,
brother, I'm more. And let me tell you right now. I did a post on Friday. My son Tristan came to join me for a lunch at work. I took lunch in the office, and he put a draft order up for all. The Bucks don't have 7; they only have 6 picks this year. He put a draft up, and he put up. Even got a tight end there in I think the 5th round or fourth round. I'm like trying to figure out how you're going to make an argument for a tight end when we've got we've got some dogs on this team already, but a position. And he made an argument for all 6 players, Alex. So I'm more of a position guy. I think it's definitely defense. I think we have to address either the front or the back, but I'm more wanting to find somebody that's going to be in the middle. Because we got Levante back for his 73rd season, and I'd like Levante to play another 73 years. But truth of the matter is, and Devin White didn't wash out. I mean, he washed out. So we haven't addressed that middle linebacker position. So unless that guy's already in the building, which I'm not sure that Jason Light is sure he is, I think the Bucks have to address linebackers. So I like Jahad Campbell going in being that because he could play them. He plays the middle. But he also has that speed to become an edge. But I think he's going to be more of a middle linebacker, but you can have a little flexibility, which I think that's one of the significant or one of the signatory drafts aspects for Jason Light. He wants players not only that are good people, but also have, flexibility to play up front, to be a Vita Vea in coverage because they're trying to run a different. We'll get into that another time, but I'm looking for a middle linebacker.
Yep. You gotta stick on that edge rushing or in the linebacking position because more pressure on the quarterback was the issue for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, and that was honestly the only issue the Bucks had. The Bucks overall did absolutely extremely well. You had your rookies step up in every way between Bucky Irving, Jalen McMillan was another one who had really stepped up when needed. It was nice to see Mike Evans get that 1,000 yards. Can Chris Godwin, by the way, big question for the Bucks, can Chris Godwin come back healthy this year? What's going on with that? But I think the Bucks offensively are really well. So, like I said, if I'm going into the draft, just focus on that defense, and kind of boost up that secondary too. Make a decision on Jamel Dean. And if I'm going into the draft on Thursday, we'll see what happens. But before the draft even starts, you got your Bolts on the ice against
Thursday
the Panthers
night,
at home.
Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday night. Can the Bolts take those first 2 games? My mindset is really focused on that right now. I'm so excited. I love playoff hockey. It's the best time of the year. Playoffs.
But let me go ahead and finish with this, Alex. Hey, first things first. 105 today at the Stein. Let's take care of business. Let's get Pepe out there.
Pepio's been, by the way, another underrated pitcher, but he's been pitching very well. He's got to stay consistent. He's had
that run support.
He's had good starts. That's the thing. Real quick before I go, is it's so unfortunate because if you look at the lineup, it's really not that bad of a lineup. So for a lineup to be minus yesterday, to be struggling like it has been, it's absolutely really is kind of shocking because
Yes. Well, it's starting to come together. Maybe they're
even getting to his historic low start was actually even shocking in itself. But
yeah, but
listen,
Yandy tough and one out at first base yesterday. That was all part of that. There were so many things that happened during that chronology, if you will, of that 10th inning walk off, Aranda's walk off yesterday. That so many things came together. I think that regardless of the outcome of today's game, and I want to see a split, get the second game, and I want to send the Yankees out of here with a split. But regardless, the fact that this team came together and played the way they did, I think we already proved. Look at this. I got someone else coming in here. My man, Rashad. Let me tell you something. This is dad. This is dad right here. I wish I had my speaker set up, but come in here. Do me a favor, Rashad. Happy Easter. God bless. Will you come in here and tell us about this audio work you're doing with Jay Wilson or anything else you want to talk about right here? Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey, how y'all doing? What's good? What's good?
That's good.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy to be here with my brother right here, my UPS co-worker. You got me? Okay, yeah. So Ray wanted me to talk about the audio book that I'm working on with my brother Jay Wilson. The audio book works hand in hand with this new album that I'm dropping sometime in the fall. It's called I Left a Mess in There. That's the name of the book, and that's the name of the album. So there will be an audio book, a paperback book, and basically the way it works is the book will basically be like a behind the scenes look at how the album was put together. So it's 15 songs on the album. There'll be 15 chapters in the book where each chapter coincides with a song, and just kind of give you a backstory of how the song came to be. And the whole idea is to make people fall back in love with albums. You know what I mean? I'm from that era where 95? What happened in 95? Remind me. Talking about VH1? Oh, that was 2005. Yeah, 2005. Yeah, that was pretty cool where I entered this freestyle competition. They were looking for the 5 best freestylers in the country. And you had to submit a video of you doing a rap for 59 seconds. That's why it was called Freestyle 59. And this was with VH1. And I got picked. I was one of the 5, and they flew us out to VH1, and we got to meet a bunch of celebrities and do radio interviews. On Shade 45, which is Eminem.
There's a reason why I bring that up. Happy Easter, brother. The reason why I bring that up is because it's that voice. That's why I'm so into the audiobook and the aspect of back to the album, telling the stories. If I get I get you talking and I get you singing. You're still with TRC too, right? Okay, TRC, the Real Clash. Brother, thanks again, and happy, I love you. And I'll see you. Happy Easter. Thank you. I'm going to bring Alex back in. I put him on the spot. You know what, Alex?
That's fine.
When I thought you were going to come in today, I almost set my soundboard up so I had speakers. But when I saw Shad come over here, and I'm telling you what, his music, not only I've seen TRC, I went down and we covered them. Shad got me credentialed for the Okeechobee Music Festival a few years back. But seeing them perform on the big stage, but then having them down here in St. Pete, I'm going to have to talk to Coach Mark Ferg because I'm sure we got to get the TRC up on the stage here at the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. But yeah, I put him on the spot a little bit. But last thought, give me 30 seconds, Alex. We talked about the Rays game at 1, the Lightning on Tuesday. Forget the Buck strap. We'll talk about that. But give me your 30-second out as we end this Cup of Ray here on Easter morning from the world-famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill.
Listen, it's Sunday. I don't know everybody's faith or belief, but it's Resurrection Sunday. So I pray that y'all have a very blessed Sunday. No matter where you are in the Tampa Bay region, you have a very blessed Resurrection Sunday. Enjoy it with your family. Rather you're on the beach to watch Rays game, you're headed to a church service or wherever you are this Sunday. You guys be blessed, and I pray for nothing but a blessed weekend or a blessed week ahead.
Brother, nice close, Alex. Thanks for coming on again. Guys. I'll see you on. Hey, I'll talk to you probably later today, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Tell you what, it's Cup of Ray, Easter, feeling the vibes. I want to go home and see what the Easter Bunny brought me, but I'm gonna stop over here and check. Oh God, just a great Sunday. great game yesterday. I know Alex and I talked a little bit about it, but you know, it's been so nice that the stadium has been put on the back burner. And I know for a lot of Rays fans, it's like, well, Stu still owns his team. And I posed that Stu wanted to wait and see what happened with this experiment in Tampa. I also posed that wherever those pockets are, or those other owners that are putting together or formulating a plan to buy this team, they're also looking at what the stadium's going on over there. They want to see, the support here in the Tampa Bay community, because at the end of the day, whether the stadium's east, west, north, or south, Sarasota to, Spring Hill, they want to make sure there's going to be that support. And that's going to obviously have an impact on how much they're willing to pay for this team. It's going to have an impact of how much Stu Sternberg can probably ask for this team. The stability of having Tropicana Field for the next couple of years at least gives us our raise, and it lets them figure out a little bit more time to figure this thing out. But yesterday's win, just again, there was a point in that game we're down 4 runs, and I'm like, because we knew it, right? And I can't believe this. The Rays replay game down here at the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill is right there on the big screen. And right here, they're showing Caballeros. That's one of the top plays. It's on a loop here, literally on a loop on ESPN Sports Center, with the between the legs, a 5-hole pass, if you will, in celebration of a hockey playoffs starting this week. Playoffs. The 5-hole to allow to turn a double play. And it was plays like that. And it was Chandler Simpson, everything that happened yesterday, and then Aranda with the collision at home plate, and then getting that walk-off home run. And I want to apologize again to all the Yankees fans that were out there at outfield. I saw the white jerseys, and you're just supporting your team. Get the hell out. I apologize for that because, 1, you kind of thought you had that game. 2, you thought you had the series sweep. And 3, after Aranda hits the walk-off, those fireworks, I hope they scared the crud out of you, because that's what they're supposed to do. Because that's a Rays celebratory win, and that's how we do at the Stein, which, by the way, is our stadium in 2025. Maybe that City Connect jersey is just a picture of the Stein. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. Everyone needs to know someone cares. This Easter Sunday, make sure you be the one. No, you know what? I forgot. I want to get my comments because I invited this guy on here. And I think Harry might have been trolling me a little bit. Harry the Greek says, Rays are World Series bound. Oh, you wanted me to do that? Yeah. Thank you, Harry, for giving me that setup. Abraham in here. Abraham messaged you all day yesterday. I know you were busy, but since you didn't get back with me, I didn't send you the link. Abraham says, Happy Easter, guys, from Fort Myers. Our Lord has risen. Amen, brother, and happy Easter to you. The vibes are all over the place down here today at the world-famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. Corey says, hey. Hey, Corey. Hey. Abraham also says, go Bolts, Rays, Bucks, Tampa Bay Ray. I like how it all works. Corey also says, Connor, geeky sneak player, playoffs. Connor is going to be, sneaky in the playoffs, but I'm looking forward to the playoffs starting this week too. Corey also says Bucks will draft defensive end Deion Walker. I don't think he's on Tristan's board. Talking about at 19. I think there was a question of whether Deion will be there at 19, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I'd have to go back and look at my son's draft board because this is a lot better than my draft board. Eric Harden says could trade future picks, and you were talking about Eric with the not Jamel Dean, but talking about was it Taylor Walls? No, it was Rashad White. Because that was a little bit of rumor, not a rumor, but a little talk this week. Is like, I'm sure there are teams, because who wouldn't want a guy that was the #1 leading receiver at Arizona State, has basically been nothing but a godsend. He was, because he had to learn to protect Tom Brady, the GOAT. And now he's been, doing the same thing with Baker Mayfield. So, but I also pose that even though you got, help me out here, Don Tucker, even though you've got other, other maybe possibilities, having two in the one and the same type of running backs that can both block on third down, pick up the blitz, and receive out of the backfield, that's a temptation, my friend, and that's one I definitely wouldn't want to get rid of. And Eric Hartnett says it's Pepe Al. Of course, Pepe Al's on the mound today versus those New York Yankees over at the Stein. Rays go for 2 to split the series with the New York Yankees, and again, it's Easter, and I'm out of here. Everyone does need to know someone cares, and this Easter Sunday, be the one that lets them know. Reach out. It feels good to get it, and it feels even better to give it. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next Cup of Ray.